Anti-Semitism is back on the news here in Germany. It all started when Los Angeles-based Wiesenthal Center, dedicated to fighting anti-Jewish bigotry, released its top 10 list of anti-Semitic and anti-Israel insults. And in the 2012 list, it included Jakob Augstein, a well-known German journalist and television personality.
Everybody claimed that Augstein is so unimportant that he did not deserve to be on the list of these 10 worst quotes, and yet at the very same time he has caused this major uproar in the mainstream media. He owns virtually 50% or 47, 48, 49% of one of the most important print magazines, political magazines. At the same time, he's regularly on television.
The top 10 list, published worldwide, cited magazine articles in which Jakob Augstein referred to Israel's nuclear power as a threat to world peace, condemned its actions in Gaza, and compared Israeli Orthodox Jews to Islamic fundamentalists.
I think the other 9 positions on the list are completely correct, and the center's right to publicize these nine other views, who are people who basically think the earth would be a better place without Jews. And I would say they are criminals for that opinion. Okay, but Jakob Augstein doesn't have this opinion. I think it's a mistake. I think they misread his columns. He's a critic of the Israeli government. He would wish for Israel to have another policy, another defense policy, another foreign policy. And maybe he's too sharp a critic of this government sometimes.
Augstein's comments were anti-Semitic. In my mind, there's no question about it. He was not just being critical of the state of Israel, but the whole series of his statements that he's made throughout his career have been way beyond just Israel, being critical of Israel.
But that's not the case for Jakob Augstein. He makes use of his right to free speech, to criticize the government inside a Western and democratic context. And he says Israel would be better off with another policy. So I think he speaks more as a friend of Israel, as an ally, but he's not advocating anti-Semitism. I don't think so.
A friend is there to make productive criticism. Somebody who, however, creates anti-Semitic feelings in the listeners and readers of his statements, somebody who fosters hatred, which he does, in my mind, is not being a friend, is not being critical, he's being anti-Semitic.
How sensitive do you think the German media is to this whole issue of anti-Semitism, anti-Israeli feeling?
We're very sensitive. I think we should be. You know, you can always be more vigilant and so on, but it's really it's one of the main threads of our identity, and we should be very vigilant. You know, it's really, for me as a journalist, it's one of our most important topics.
In my mind, the German media is not anti-Semitic as a whole. However, the stereotypical images being portrayed and being applied towards Israel have an impact on readers, listeners, and viewers. When you see a picture of a religious Jew going to the election polls being shown one time after another and again, instead of showing the average Israeli with his jeans and t-shirt going to the election polls, that portrays an image of a typical Jew. That is not, however, the typical Israeli.
So a lot of people cannot differentiate between religion and, in this case, citizenship or politics. That's a dangerous thing too. And it's really the case in Europe that a lot of people are jumping on the train, and the train is against Israel.
There are no doubts about the political and social will here in Germany to overcome anti-Semitism. But goodwill and outrage is not enough. Monsters have to be fought. This is Wilson Ruiz for Jewish News 1 in Germany.